Spartans! What is your profession?
I'm not their echo, I'm my own sound. My roots in the earth, my head unbound. They whisper and judge, but I'm not their clay. I mold my tomorrow, I'm done with today. I walked away from their parade. Their words like stones that ricochet. They call me lost, but I am found on this quiet road where I'm unbound. I walked away through the quiet of the storm. Their voices loud, but my soul felt warm. They point their fingers, call me the stray, but I found my freedom when I walked away, yeah.
I walked away from their parade. Their words like stones that ricochet. They call me lost, but I am found on this quiet road where I'm unbound. I walked away through the quiet of the fray. Their voices loud, but my soul felt warm. They point their fingers, call me the stray, but I found my freedom when I walked away. They try to shame the soul that strays. When you carve your path, they turn away. An outsider's heart beats loud and clear. No chains can hold what's free from fear.
Their dreams aren't mine, they never fit. A puzzle forced, it just won't click. I see the world through my own eyes, not filtered through their scripted lies.
Their dreams were cages I couldn't call home. I saw a horizon where I could roam. They don't understand what they can't contain, but my path is my own through joy and pain. They try to shame the soul that strays. When you carve your path, they turn away. An outsider's heart beats loud and clear. No chains can hold what's free from fear.
Let them whisper, let them glare. I have grown strong in this thin air. The crowd may roar, but I won't bend. My road's my own until the end. They call me the outsider for chasing my flame. Their rules and their boxes I refuse to claim. I won't be a shadow, I'll carve my own way. They can try to shame me, but I won't obey. They call me the outsider for chasing my flame. Their rules and their boxes I refuse to claim. I won't be a shadow, I'll carve my own way. They can try to shame me, but I won't obey.
They try to shame the soul that strays. When you carve your path, they turn away. An outsider's heart beats loud and clear. No chains can hold what's free from fear.
So call me the outsider if that's what I'll be. I'd rather be lost if it means I'm free. Their maps are for them, I'll chart my own sea. I walked away, now I'm finally me.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everyone doing today? Hopefully you are doing remarkably well. I am so happy to have you in the building tonight. I am Tickle Trough. We are engineered to win, or they like to say, I don't know why, but they like to say, I do my very best to annoy you to success. And if that's what I'm doing, then so be it. Tonight is Tuesday, Tech Q&A night, August 19th, 2025. We are just about out of August into September. Can you believe it? The year is going by super duper fast, and for me, we're just getting started. We are going to be leveling up, running it up, all of that good stuff. So the plan for tonight. So tonight, I'm going to have the call line open. If anybody wants to call in, can answer some questions. We're going to be working on our DevOps project, trying to set up the infrastructure. probably getting into containerizing our lovable app. And I have a couple of questions that I saw that I want to address as well. Some stuff that I saw on Reddit. I wanted to give my take on it. All of that good stuff. Right. Let me jump into our agenda real quick, and then I will jump into the chat, and then we're gonna get to work. We are gonna. I have 4 credits left for the day. We're going to do a little bit of work on lovable. Some changes. Like it's been a roller. It has been a roller coaster ride.
Bruh.
And I am not very fond of roller coasters. So I'll tell you some more about it, all that good stuff. But let's jump into our agenda first. All right. So first and foremost, I want to say a big thank you to all of the new subscribers to the channel. Those who have been with me for a very long time, those who are brand new. Thank you so much for allowing me to add some value into your life, whether you are rocking with me on the live streams, whether you're watching clips from the live streams, whether you're watching the video like we had yesterday about our candid conversations, the top 5 reasons that you are not landing interviews. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about Amazon Kiro, their new vibe coding platform. We talk about so much here. We do so much live stream almost every day, in the morning, at night. If I am able to add just a little bit of value into your life, thank you so much for allowing me to do that, because you could be anywhere else. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Shout out to my tech barbarians, my tech prodigy members, my technical explorers, all of the members of the Tech Coach Ralph Patreon who allow me to add value into your lives, but also work with me, collaborate with me, get value from our sprint reviews, get value from our vibe code and chill sessions that we're going to be having one this coming weekend. I'm going to schedule it tomorrow. I have to check on what is my plans for Saturday, because there's supposed to be a jiu-jitsu competition that I wanted to go see, but I'm gonna work around that. I'm going to see what we can do so that we can still have our vibe code and chill and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to check the calendar, going to check the time, and we will go from there. Right. But that is, but for my Patreon members, thank you guys so much for working with me and allowing me to deliver even more value into your life. I look forward to seeing you this Saturday. All right. We are the best. You guys work so hard. We are the best.
We the best.
And shout out to the Tech Mercenaries. Those are the YouTube channel members who allow me to come up on YouTube day in and day out and add value to the entire world. Do you know that we are audio dubbed in I think it's about like 10, 11 languages. So people in Russia people who speak Russian can understand, people who speak Hindi can understand, people who speak Spanish, French, Italian, a bunch of different languages. I am in those languages, and I am able to add more and more value throughout the entire world, and it would not be possible without my Tech Mercenaries. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
If you want to join me this weekend for our Vibe Code and Chill, where it's a Google Meetup, I will be working through some credits on different projects, various projects. I will be there to answer your questions. We can create a prototype if anyone has an idea. I can show you how I do that. Working on Lovable, all of that good stuff. Then techcoachralph.dev, sign up today. If you have a resume, you're applying for jobs, you're not getting any traction, check out resumeflow.app, upload your resume, get some feedback on the good things about it, the bad things about it, see how it looks towards in the applicant tracking system, make the necessary modifications. You see a job that you like, drop in the job description or that job URL, get an analysis, say how well does your resume match to that job, and go from there, track your resume, all of that good stuff. Get interview questions. That is what resumeflow.app is here to help you with. Check out resumeflow.app. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video, this live stream, Resume Flow. Like I alluded to, tomorrow morning, let me check my calendar real quick. Let me make sure that I don't have any meetings early in the morning, because we should be able to have a live stream tomorrow morning, continuing through our documentation workflow. Let me make sure. Oh, let me see. Tomorrow we are good to go. We will be live streaming tomorrow morning. working through our N8N, our Nodemation workflow, where we are working, like we're trying to have it go through GitHub to generate documentation. That is the goal for our N8N workflow that we're working on. We made some modifications yesterday. We're gonna push through tomorrow, all of that good stuff, right? So see you guys in the morning at noon Eastern time. We're going to be having software explorations, concepts, and overviews. We're gonna be reviewing Amazon Kiro. They are joining the vibe coding mix, and we're going to be looking at that. It's not even available to the public yet. There's a wait list to be able to get a credentials for it. I'm trying to get some credentials so I can try it out, but we shall see. But we're going to be reviewing Amazon Kiro tomorrow. All right. Thursday night, we're going to be jumping into a live stream. We're going to be continuing working on our security scanner application because Thursday nights are dedicated to cybersecurity. All right, so we're going to be working on our cybersecurity application on Lovable and see what progress we can make with that. All right, but that is what we have coming up for the next couple of days, and that is about it. Remember, techcoachtrap.dev. Sign up for Git. I'm gonna be releasing our sprint review from this past weekend tomorrow, and I'm gonna be scheduling our vibe code and chill between tomorrow and Thursday, so you can join us on Saturday, techcoachtrap.dev, where it's all happening at. All right. So those are our housekeeping for the week. Let me go and check out the chat to see what we got going on in there. We got my guy Junior says, what's up, family? What's good with you, Junior? Hopefully everything is going phenomenal for you. And Junior says, you don't know why? The lies. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about, Junior. All right. So it is 7:20. I have 4 credits to spend on Lovable. We are going to jump into that so that we can make use of it. We're not going to fumble any tokens today. And I'm actually I started working on another project on Sunday night, but I have so many things in flight. Some things are getting deprioritized, so I can spend a little bit more. I can keep them on their normal days. Some things I'm gonna prioritize. It's a juggling act. It is a juggling act. But as I said on Sunday, I was planning to work on the infrastructure project. So we're going to be doing that today, and then I will figure all that out. All right. So let's jump into, all right. Stop the show. We got my guy, Peter Investor, in the building. Says salute to you and the chat. Salute to you, Peter Investor. How have you been? What a pleasure to see you here. Wow. You know what? I'm going to cheer it up for my guy, Peter Investor. Always a pleasure to have you in the building. All right, I'm gonna throw up 20 minutes so that we can but we're gonna use our 4 credits, right? I'm gonna throw up 20 minutes. We're gonna use our 4 credits that we have left for our Lovable application. And I will tell you the nightmare that I had. Let me throw it up.
It's time to do.
What's this? Oh, it's only money.
Oh man. Peter Investor. Let me go check out what Peter Investor said. That Peter Investor, just a straight up $5 super chat from Peter Investor. Thank you so much, Peter Investor.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Just pure love from Peter Investor. All right. So here's what happened, right? Here's what happened. I was fighting with Lovable to get me to get the dashboard page working, right? So let me show you the troubles that I was going through, right? So I don't even know what this is at this point. So here's what happened, right? I'm trying to get the dashboard page working, and we were just not on the same page with each other, right? We were not on the same page. So I said, you know what? I've had enough. Let's just create a new dashboard page that is going to take from the database, because what we were doing before, it was messy, because we were trying to load directly from GitHub, we were trying to load directly from Jira, we were trying to load from the database. So I said, you know what? I'll show you my prompt. I said, listen, Linda. Let me go to, yeah. I said, I think there's too much going on in trying to get the current dashboard page to show the right data. Can we create another dashboard page that we can configure it to have specific information on the new dashboard page? It should have the flow metrics data being loaded from the database, flow metrics and bug metrics and GitHub metrics that is filterable by business unit, team, and squad, the way it is now. But we need this dashboard to pull from the database, right? So it did it, and we ended up with this page here, where now I can filter by, can say here, choose a team, and now I get the data that is correct for that appropriate team, versus what we were trying to do here. We were just trying to do too much. It was not working out. So I said, you know what? Let's just create a whole new page. We did that, and now we're doing a lot better. We're doing a lot better. To catch you up, Peter Investor. So basically what we've been doing, we've been using Lovable, a platform that uses AI to write code for us. We can build applications. We've been working on different applications throughout the past few months. Inside of the Tech Coach Off Patreon, we've been having our Vibe Code and Chill sessions where we go more in depth, like we're working, creating prototypes, things like that. So this project right here is an engineering metrics dashboard that I was building, where it pulls from GitHub, it pulls from Jira on the different data points that engineering teams use, right? And we were just having some issues with it that I was able to get through by just creating a new dashboard page for me. Now, all the data is actually loading correctly now. So we have the Jira project that's assigned to Alpha Team. We have the GitHub repositories assigned to Alpha Team. If I filter down a little bit more to squad based, and now we have the Jira project assigned to Alpha Squad and the GitHub repositories assigned to Alpha Squad, right? So this is exactly what we want. The other thing now that is going on is we do want to have it on a schedule to automatically refresh, which it is currently not doing, unfortunately. The last time it pulled data was 8/14/2025, or at least that's what it shows here. And it's supposed to do it every morning at 8 a.m. It has not been doing that, unfortunately. Bruh. It is what it is. So, and I also noticed inside of, we have the public view dashboard for people who are users but not admins, and then we have the admin dashboard where we can configure different things. So we should be able to add additional business units. We should be able to add more teams, add more squads, and say what is assigned, like what repos are assigned to what squad, right? And I don't think this is actually working anymore, because this was for the old view. So we'll probably have to rework this to use the new dashboard database. This is the Jira integration where we can refresh the Jira. This is the GitHub integration where we can set up our repositories that we have inside of GitHub, and we can pull in the latest data from GitHub. And then there's nothing in the system tab, right? But the issue that we're currently having is that, so I'm gonna close this one, is that I want to figure out the cron job, right? So I'm going to say the cron. So if you look in here, right, inside the dashboard, there is nothing that is controlling the the refresh of the data, right? I don't even see Jira on here. So I'm going to go into here and I'm going to prompt it to say, let's go all the way back down to the bottom. I don't have a way in the admin anymore to configure the cron job or Jira. Now that I think about it, there's nothing to configure Jira here either. Yeah, there's nothing to configure Jira here either. Or Jira. We need to be able to configure and test the cron job in the admin to make sure it is triggered at the appropriate time. And we need to be able to configure our Jira connection so we can have it sync to the database. All right, so I'm going to send that. And it should write that code for us. Oops. What's good, KG609? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see. All right, so I can see the admin panel is missing Jira ingestion configuration and cron management components. Let me add those back to the admin. So basically what happened, at one point, it decided to just clear everything out. And I was like, okay. But I wasn't too concerned about it. I know the components exist and that my goal was just to be able to get the data. We're getting the data now. So not too concerned about it. Let's see. It says it's done. So now you don't see it. You refresh. We have our Jira integration back now. We have our cron job. Check cron jobs. So our cron jobs do exist. Check run history. Oh, wait a second. It said that it succeeded every single time. Job 1 started 8:15, 4 a.m., 8:16, 8:17. So they've actually been running, but they have not been updating. Interesting. I will double check that. But I also don't want the cron jobs to be exclusive to Jira. I want it to sync for Jira and GitHub. So I'm gonna make I'm gonna do a two-in-one prompt, a twofer. We're gonna do a twofer, right? So I'm gonna say that when checking the cron job results, I can see that or cron jobs history. I can see that the jobs were actually being ran. However, the component, what is the name of this? What is this thing called? The data freshness indicator component is not reflecting the latest run date / time that what is this called? that the that the check run history is telling me. That the check run history is saying or is reporting. And this one as well is also not saying. The admin ingest panel component also isn't reflecting the latest or the last run, the last execution as well. So it will confuse users on how fresh the data is. Also, I would like that same cron job to also refresh the GitHub data so that we can make sure we have fresh data from GitHub and Jira. All right, so that I'm sending that, and that should get us on our way to give us an accurate representation of when the data was last updated, and that we can make sure that our Jira data and our Jira data and our GitHub data are fresh, right? The cron job execution history shows jobs are running, but the data freshness indicator aren't reflecting it. We also need to update the cron job to refresh GitHub data as well. Let me fix these issues. So I was in one of the discords that I'm in, someone was asking about like AI certifications and stuff like that. And I think I've always said this about certs. Certs are cool. Knowing how to actually use these tools, softwares, applications is better. So why you can get certs, it means you can pass a test, right? Which they're helpful, but you also want to actually be able to be familiar with ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, and that's just the beginning. That is, to me, that is knowing how to use ChatGPT and Gemini. That is the bare minimum. That is like pre-K, right? But then knowing how to integrate with APIs, knowing how to get code generated, knowing how to use Lovable, knowing how to use Make, knowing how to use Devin, that is when you start to actually get into more like Amazon Bedrock. Like Amazon has their whole suite of AI stuff. Google has their whole AI studio. Knowing how to use these things is really what's going to get you into the conversation, right? I was talking to I was on a coaching call earlier, and so the way that I'm doing the coaching now is like, all right, in order for you to learn whatever it is that you're trying to learn, I want you to use Lovable to start building an application, right? And then we're going to put everything around that. And the person I was coaching, they had a AI section, like where their app is going to be using AI, but it was like coming soon. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. I'm like, no, you want to use it because you want to be able to plug into one of these platforms, like get an API key, plug into the platform so that you can start not only having talking points, but you can actually start to understand this stuff even better. So it's really, really important. It is essential that especially in today's day and age, when a lot of people they're afraid of AI, they don't want to use AI, stuff like that, you need to make yourself stand out. So while people might be afraid of it, rejecting it, you need to run towards it, to embrace it so that you can add more value in whatever it is that you're doing. All right. Let's see what we got going on over here. So it made the changes. No error. Surprisingly, no errors. So let's see what happens. So I made the changes. I made the following key improvements. Fixed data freshness display. Both data freshness indicator and admin ingest panel now fetch the data to display the actual last cron job execution time from the database using the get cron job run details. Enhanced GitHub integration. Updated the Jira ingest edge function to also refresh GitHub data when the cron job runs, so you'll have fresh data from both Jira and GitHub on each scheduled execution. And better status handling. The component now shows the actual last runtime from the cron job history, giving users accurate information about data freshness. Updated UI labels data change the admin panel title to organization-wide data ingestion. Oh, I like that. To reflect that it's now handles both Jira and GitHub data. Now when the cron job runs, it will update Jira data via the Jira admin metrics function, refresh GitHub metrics cache via the GitHub metrics cache, update the last run timestamp in the ingestion settings, provide accurate status. Sweet. That'll be cool. If it actually does that, that'll be really, really good. All right. So we are going to refresh this. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So the reason that it says 4 a.m. because it is doing the 8 a.m. scheduled is UTC's time. It's showing me Eastern time, which it's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. But that is good. That is accurately reflecting the time now. And if I go in here and I refresh this page, the admin page, and I go to Jira ingestion, which honestly, this should be its own section because it's organization wide now, and it being on the Jira ingestion or Jira integration doesn't really make sense. But honestly, as long as it's working, that's all that really matters right now. So there you go. Boom, 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 boom. This is super duper awesome. It's really cool. I'm excited about this. Check run history, still good. Check cron jobs, still good. Let's see. So if we go to, let's close this down. We go to squad, alpha, alpha, alpha. And we have 0 open PRs on our. So let's see how accurate this is, right? So this is for last 30 days, right? If I go to GitHub, we go here and pull request, we have 0 open, that's accurate. And if we say, so it told us 0 open PRs, that's accurate between and creator flow toolkit. Let me see if I have creator flow toolkit. Creator flow toolkit. Yep, no pull request open, right? And we say, can I do time? Can I do a time frame on this? GitHub. I am not the best with. I've never really used GitHub filtering to see, but no open PRs. Let's see. 3 closed. Let's take a look at the closed ones. So this one is 4 closed, but when was the last time that they were closed? This was closed last month, June 26th, June 25th. Let's go to the, come on. Let's go to the other one. And pull request.
Lunch break, lunch break.
5 total closed, but in the past 2 weeks, last month, probably, so this was July 20th, which would be tomorrow. So 3. So this is accurate. 3 pull requests closed in the past 30 days. So our engineering metrics are correct for GitHub. 3 merged PRs, 3 closed PRs, average lead time. And then we have the Jira data, which I'm not going to jump into the Jira data, but that is pretty good. That is very, very accurate. Let me see. How many credits do I have left? I have 2 left. Let's go ahead and use those last 2, and then I'll go to break, chat, look at a Reddit post, and then we'll get to working on something else. All right. So let me see. Is there anything? I don't know if there's anything else to do right now. Let me see. Actually, there is something else I can do right now. Let me see if I can find it. Let's go to preview insights. Oh. So, all right, cool. So let me pull this on another screen. And let's go over here. So this one is logged in as a different user, right? Let's see if it's going to pull in the data. It does, which is good. But it is also telling me that so this is good. It is telling me that it's not updating the data freshness. So I am going to say, I'm going to go over here. And I am going to say, just so we can use up the last of our credits, when I am logged in as a non-admin user, I am able to see am I able to see those metrics too? I am, cool. So I'm able to see the metrics, but the data freshness is saying inactive and that there is no last update, next update, or frequency. It should pull up from the database so that all users can see how fresh data is. See how fresh the data is. All right, so that is what we want to happen. Let's go and let me see. So what I've learned is a lot of times it's because of database permission issues that we'll see something as an admin, but we won't see something as a non-admin. So please make sure that the RPC, remote procedure call, and RLS, row level security, gives non-admins permission to see the data freshness information, even if you need to create a new view in the database so that non-admins can see the information. All right, so that's what I want. Let's see how well it does that. I'll say a good set. I'll say I'm 65% sure it's a database permission issue. All right, now I'm 100% sure. I need to update the database to allow non-admin users to see the data freshness information. The issue is that the get cron job, run details, RPC function, and ingestion settings are restricted to admins only, but all you should be able to see when the data was last refreshed. All right, so we're gonna do that, and that should end up using up our last two tokens. So and I am gonna get as soon as this is done, I'm gonna get to the comments. I see we have some really good questions and thoughts in there, and I'm also gonna while I'm doing that, let me go ahead and turn on the calling link in case anybody does want to call in and have a conversation about all this stuff. Just didn't want anybody to call while I was using up the last of my tokens. All right, but calling link is now open. It is pinned to the top of the chat as well as in the description, so feel free to call in. And we can have a conversation about anything in tech, especially if you want to talk about what I'm building here. But I'm also going to share that I mentioned earlier, I started working on a new application. This one is actually for my mom. Right? Believe it or not, I am building an app for my mom to help her with some work that she's doing. Maybe I'll work on it on Saturday in our Vibe Code and Chill, because it's a really cool application about like payroll and stuff like that. But it just shows that these platforms can do. I'll talk about it when we get to break, all right? But it's it's crazy. It's crazy because I was just talking about that. I left a comment about that on. I responded to a post on X about that. But I've updated the data freshness component to use a new database view and RPC function that allows all authenticated users to see data freshness information. The component now for non-admin users uses get data freshness status RPC. Oh, we got an error. Let's try to fix it. Let me see what the error is. I like to look at the error. Okay, let's fix that. Let me keep reading while it's fixing it. For admin users, still have access to the detailed settings view for full configuration details. Shows accurate last runtimes. Uses the actual cron job execution history from database instead of just settings table. Maintain security. Non-admins can see what data was used the last refresh without access to sensitive configuration details. Perfect. Let's see. All right, so let's get this thing done, and then should be out of credits for today. Yep, we are out of tokens, so that's perfect. Junior, you know what I think happened? I think they implemented the rollover credits last month, so the month before that, I think I probably lost out on a few credits. But being that they implemented it last month, I was able to get my rollover credits. That reminds me of rollover minutes when we had minutes on our cell phones. It's like I got my rollover minutes, right? All right, this should be working now. Let's go ahead and take a look at. Let me refresh this. Make sure it didn't break our existing dashboard. We're good here. Frequency daily at 8 a.m. They updated the. All right, cool. So let me. Always got a regression test. Perfect. And I'll tell you this, right? I'll tell you this. With this vibe coding stuff, this is why like automation testing is super duper important, because it can like unit test, integration test, all that stuff, super important, because it can at any given moment it can just wipe everything out. All right. Trust me, I've seen it happen. So now let's go refresh this. Oh my God. I was fighting with this last week, and now we are good to go. The power of working on these platforms. I really think the dashboard itself is at a good stopping point, like where it's giving us the necessary information that we need. It's giving us the necessary information, right? Let's see if I go here. Boom. We got our data for our GitHub data. We have our Jira data, and then we can customize it. The main important part was getting the data. That's what's most important. And then we can say, all right, how can we get this? How can we migrate this into another platform, right? But with that being said, we are out of our free tokens for the day. Re-up man is about to come in about 10 minutes. So we are going to go to break. I'm going to check the chat and answer your questions. The calling link is open as well. But let me check the chat, and then I'm going to talk about this, go through this Reddit post, all right? So I'm going to drink first. All right, so let me see what we got in the chat. Got a few to go through. Let me see. Peter Investor said that this is an interesting topic. Look, I am always trying to look out. Like, there's so much new tech coming out, but I'm trying to stay ahead of the game. I am very, very impressed by what I have been able to build in such a short amount of time. There's the security scanner. There's the homeschool app. I have my personal content creation workflow assistant that I've been working on. So many different things. The app for my mom that I was just telling you guys about, which I'll get into a little bit more later. Let me see what else we got. We got KG609 in the building. What's good? What's up, Techotraf and the chat? What's up with you as well, KG609? Thank you so much for stopping by. KG609 says, the same way. All right, it says, haven't done much personal projects wise with AI, only been using corporate AI models. Would recommend starting with Lovable over Windsurf, Cursor, and Claude. So I would say that it's not a either or over. I think I'm not familiar with Windsurf 100%, right? I know Devin bought Windsurf. I would say that they're different in sense of goals, right? So Windsurf and Cursor might be similar. Lovable is different because it is a like it will build a whole application for you and integrate it with, like, if you're using it with Superbase, it will implement it with the database. Like, you saw what we did here, right? It sets up your database, creates your functions, integrate with AI. So like, let's say you say I want to integrate with Gemini, or I want to integrate with this image generation, right? It says, okay, what's your API key? You plug that API key in there and you're good to go. So from my understanding, I'm not too familiar with Cursor yet, but from my understanding, Cursor, probably Windsurf. Let me take a quick look at Windsurf, because I never actually looked into Windsurf. There's just a lot of them out there. Windsurf. What does Windsurf do? What does Windsurf AI do? AI powered code editor that helps. See, that's the difference, right? It's like GitHub Copilot from what I'm saying. So Windsurf, Cursor, GitHub Copilot, not as much Devin, right? Devin is a little different, but all of those are kind of like they assist you in writing code. Lovable, on the other hand, is actually writing the code for you. You have access to and it'll put it in a GitHub for you, where you have access to it, but it's different, if you know what I mean. Like, because it can actually build out a full application for you. And then you have the ability to make your own modifications. So I would say that give Lovable a try to, like, say, I want to build this, and then see what it does. But Cursor, Windsurf, Claude, those are to do other type of stuff, right? So I would say if you were to go back and look at one of the last Vibe Code and Chill sessions that we had in the Patreon, or if you join us for an upcoming Vibe Code and Chill, we can get more in depth. We can actually create a prototype of, like, come up with a prompt, create a prototype like we did with David Yeti a few weeks ago for an idea that he had, right? But it's just, they're different. I wouldn't say do Lovable over Windsurf, Cursor, or Claude. I would say use Lovable to create an app, and then what you could do. So let's put it like this. Let's say you use Lovable to create an app, right? You pull that into you pull in the code from GitHub into your IDE, into that's using either Windsurf, Cursor, or whatever, or Copilot, and then you use those to make some targeted modifications, while you might have Lovable do, like, some more complicated, like, bigger tasks. And then now, if you need to be like a sniper, then you can have, like, Cursor or Windsurf be targeted in that. So and for me, that's how I use multiple tools, because I will have Lovable do something big for me, and then I need to make some very specific modifications. I will copy code into Gemini and say, hey, I'm having this issue, and generally, okay, this is how you're going to target, like, be very specific in fixing it. So using these tools together as opposed to one over the other, pair them together, and you're going to have great results that way. That I've done a lot of fixing that way. Peter Investor says, when do you know what you learned in AI or generate AI become obsolete? What do you think the computer chip with organic cell structure, like the brain cells, specifically for storage? All right, let me run that back. When do you know what you learn in AI or generate AI becomes obsolete? I don't 100% understand. What do you think of a computer chip with organic cell structure like the brain cells, especially for storage capacity? Um, I don't 100% understand the question about what do you like what you learned in AI or generate becomes obsolete. I think I don't know if the information actually becomes obsolete because we iterate on information and we you just learn more, you make it better. I don't know if it's going to become obsolete as opposed to being iterative. So here's an example: the Java language, right? And Python, they'll make updates to the languages, but the foundation is still the foundation. So um, it's hard for me to answer like about it becoming obsolete. I think that if you start and you mess around with it, you play around with it, you build something, you're going to be ahead of the game because you're going to have like, okay, I've done this before. Let me see if I can do this. And you just keep trying stuff. So that's what I do. I try a lot of stuff out and I just end up learning more and more and more. I went down a whole rabbit hole of Stripe, OAuth, um, database type stuff. That's how I was able to say, hey, check the RLS, check the RPC. All of those are still very, very common and basic database stuff. But being able to tell AI, this is what I need you to check. Because if I did it, it would have said, oh, I fixed it. And it wasn't fixed, right? So for me, I don't have AI do it for me. We work together. We work together. We got my guy, Magnetar, in the building with that Sith coach, Ralph.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
What's up, Magnetar? What's good? Hopefully everything is going well with you. Junior says, payroll. Did you say payroll? Yes, I said payroll. Says my mother could do something like that. So basically, here's what happened, right? My mom, she does like payroll for an organization, right? In a foreign country, and it was like a whole mess, a bunch of spreadsheets all over the place, getting numbers all out of whack. And I was like, and she was like, do you think AI could do this? And I was like, it probably could. But then I saw her spreadsheet. It was all over the place. I said, you know what? I'm going to try to just build an app really, really quick. And I am about 75% of the way done with the app. I started Sunday night and I'm about 75% of the way done with it. I'll probably show it on Saturday's Vibe Code and Chill to show like how it's importing employees, importing templates, and exporting data, all of that good stuff. It is in like French. I'm going to put an option to have it in English as well. But really, really cool stuff that based on like I had her minimally explain to me her workflow, show me her spreadsheets, and then I was able to build something really, really cool. We will be looking at that on Saturday's Vibe Code and Chill. I am looking forward to seeing all of you guys there. The Google Meetup for Vibe Code and Chill, all you have to be is a free member of the TechnoDrive Patreon. So sign up today, technodrive.dev. And to see the playback, the recording of it, that's when you have to be a tiered member. But you can join us for free as long as you sign up for the free tier of the TechnoDrive Patreon. Join us to Google Meet. And we can have a great, great time. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. We got the one, the only Rod Brown in the building. What's up, Rod Brown? How are you doing today? So happy to have you here. You guys tune in to Rod Brown's live stream tomorrow night at 9 p.m. I will be there tuning in, so hopefully to see you there. Let me see. Anything else? KG609 says, makes sense. I will definitely invest time in it. Trust me. Like KG609. Join us on Saturday's Vibe Code and Chill if you are available. And I will find a prompt to create. And you can see like I'll show some more stuff that I've been working on. Because you will see what you're like. I'll put it like this. Let's put it like this, right? I'm gonna call out my guy Junior. My guy Junior is not a software engineer, not like a super tech person, unless it's about flying drones, where he is hands down the king of flying drones, right? but and photography. But he joined me on our like one of our first vibe code and chill sessions where I was showing about Lovable, and within a few hours he was able to get a app up and running, and just iterating, getting better, like never had used AI before, or not much at least, and he was able to get something up and running in a very, very short amount of time, and then continue to iterate and build off of that. So join us. It's going to be a ball. All right. Peter Investor says, is the complexity of knowledge would outpace our desire to keeping up with it? It depends, right? It depends, because I think there's going to be segments, right? There's going to be some people who are really, really good in one sector of this AI stuff, and there's going to be some other people who are really, really good in another sector. So if you look on YouTube, there's going to be tons of people doing like N8N, Nodemation, creating workflows that integrate with AI and stuff like that. I have some stuff doing that, but then you'll have people who are making a lot of content and who are using what do you call that other one? Who are using like Devin, Cursor, making tons of content, using that in their daily life. I know at my company we have access to Devin, we have access to Copilot. Some people are using Cursor. We just got it's like different people doing different things, and I think that if people are able to work together in the sense of, all right, I'm going to be focusing on lovable stuff, you're going to be focusing on N8N type stuff, and then we share the information, we collaborate together, then it's going to be like the Avengers of tech. That's how I see it. All right. And Peter Investor says, basically, do we become lazy since AI will be trained to do everything for us? I am not of the belief that AI is going to be doing everything for us. I think that AI is going to be a great assistant for us. So I'll break it down like this, right? So this is how I see it. I think that with AI, it is going to level the playing field where engineers are not going to be only available to the top companies, right? There are some things that AI should absolutely take over. We had watched a Fox Business video a few weeks ago where they were talking about how in California fast food workers, they're losing their jobs, right? Because AI, like replacing cashiers, you use the kiosks and stuff like that. And this one lady was like, oh, but sometimes the machines break. I'm like, yeah, but the machines are going to be taking a lot more orders than they break, and there's a high percentage that your orders are not going to be wrong. So I think that it's not that we're going to become obsolete, right? Let me put the question back up, right? I don't think it's that it's going to be doing everything. I think it's going to be a shift in what we focus on. Just like we could say that, oh, since cars came into existence, did we become lazy because we don't have to ride horses and stuff like that? Yeah, we became more lazy in the sense of we don't ride horses anymore, but we're able to get places. Think about this. AI is like cars and airplanes, right? We don't have to take ships across the Atlantic or the Pacific, right? We were able to get, so a trip that might have taken like 2 weeks to get from one place to the other. Now we can get to Europe in like 5 hours or something like that. I don't know how long is a flight to Europe? Let me see. Flight to Europe from Miami. It is about 8 hours. So it's about 8 hours nonstop from Miami to London, right? But before, how long would that trip take by boat? Or when trying to get somewhere by car, trying to, like, if you were to ride a horse from one place to the other place, it would take you days, right? And you need to have a what do you call that thing? A wagon and stuff like that. Now you can just jump in the car, be somewhere in hours, right? So I don't know if it's going to be doing everything for us. I think it's going to allow us to go faster, and we're going to be able to do more. So one of the thoughts that I have is that now the top companies are not going to be harvesting all of the engineers because they're going to be investing more in AI. But now the lower company, like not lower, but like smaller companies, are going to be able to get access to these developers, and the developers can become entrepreneurs because they can use AI to go faster, to do more, to service more clients as well. And there's still a lot of work to be done with all this AI stuff. Like some of the apps that I built, I have to go in there and do a lot of work myself because AI, it sees things from a very, very bird's eye view, and you have to do something, it might do totally mess something totally up. So I think it's a balance there. I don't think AI is going to be taking over everything. Example with my mom. If someone had to build what I'm building for my mom right now, it would probably be tens of thousands of dollars. Being that it's for her, I'm not charging her for it, but I could easily get this thing done very, very quick, where something that would take me like years to do, I'm doing it in hours, right? So that's how I see it. I know a lot of people like this. Oh, AI is going to take over everything. I don't believe that's the case. I think that it's going to be there's going to be a balance. There's going to be a shift, a restructuring, but it's not going to take over everything. That's how I see it. And I think the people who say, oh, it's going to take over everything, I think they're just trying to get you to sign up for the AI platform. So when Sam Altman says it's to get you to sign up for GPT-5. When Google says it's to get you to sign up for Gemini. When whoever else says it's to get you to sign up for their platform. But if you're creative and if you're willing to learn, you will be ahead of the game. So that's how I see it. Magnetar says, I've got a ton of work to do, and I'm also in week 7 of my stats class. I've incorporated your lunch break back to work method for knocking tasks out. Look at that. My guy, Magnetar, always winning, always leveling up. And Junior says, we got after hours with Rod Brown. Junior, that's when Thirst Trap Brown comes out. So at 9 it's Rod Brown. At 10:30 it is Thirst Trap Brown. That's what happens. It says, will Rod Brown be battling the high again? What? When was he battling the high? It says, I don't think so. Maybe if they call in. We shall see. It says, Magnetar, actually I have a story about high. What is high? Like, what are you guys talking about? Am I missing something? Peter Investor says, thanks for my pleasure. Says, I should tell them to call in tomorrow night. Oh, okay. Hi. Okay. I got you. See, I read things literally. So he's talking about Rod Brown's best friends that they should call in. They should call in and have a conversation with Rod Brown. Tell them to call in. It says to call in tomorrow night if they're not scared. So you can get coach. That does. See, that's why I like Junior, because Junior's always looking out for my best interest, trying to give me my dusty turban. I want my turban, Rod Brown. I want my turban. We're gonna have story time tomorrow with Rod Brown. All right. So did I talk? Yeah, I spoke about the app for my mom. Let's take a look at this. I didn't put a title for it. Give me a second. Let me see. All right, let me do this real quick. Let's do. Where is? All right. Okay, let's go here. We are gonna do. All right, let's do that. So we are going to do this topic right here, what to focus on in QA. And I am going to go to get this down, and we're going to go to that. What to focus on in QA. And I'm going to go to this screen over here. So I saw this post earlier today, and I was curious about this one. It says, feeling stuck between traditional QA automation and AI in QA. So they say, I'm an experienced automation QA engineer currently leading test automation initiatives at my company. My QA manager keeps encouraging the whole team to do more with AI, integrate it with whatever possible, and I generally love how AI is shaping up in our field, but I keep running into this major roadblock. Not every project or QA is even using automation yet, let alone moving to AI-powered testing. My thoughts are, should we be focusing on getting strong automation coverage? There are loopholes. Quite a few projects are still stuck in manual testing. Oh, that sucks. Automation adoption is uneven across teams. Some are experts, some are barely getting started. But the push is always toward AI integration. I get why clients these days are looking for AI-powered QA, and showcasing such skills does help us win more business. The challenge is, as someone passionate about both testing and automation, I'm honestly not sure what my career and learning goal should be next. My ask, should I double down on AI or help drive basic automation adoption across teams? Is there a good balance? Which are the absolute must-learn tools in 2025 for both career goals and company impact? Which tools unlock the most value in your project? All right, so this is a very, very good question and a very, very challenging situation that not only QA people find themselves in, but tech people in general, because there's so much, there's a big push, get AI, get AI, get AI, all companies are going to AI, but it's like, are we trying to force AI in areas that AI might not go, right? So I'm gonna put 5 minutes on the clock for this one. So here is what I think about this, right? I think that as a QA engineer, right, who works on automation, you shouldn't force everyone to adopt AI right away. I think you need to, what I would do in this person's situation, right, is I would look for opportunities to see, okay, what are the AI and QA powered tools that that make sense for a particular team. Not every, and I would also start small, right? If you're able to put in specific information about the company into an AI tool, like let's say you have an agreement with OpenAI or Lovable, or not Lovable, OpenAI, or you have an agreement with Gemini or Cloud or whoever, right? Devin. Start with okay, what about coming up with some testing scenarios, right? That's still AI based, right? Where you can say, all right, I need some testing scenarios for this and for that, and start off with that and see where you can start plugging them in. You, like I was saying, you don't want to just force everything in there, because you're going to end up trying to do, what do they call it? Trying to force a square peg in a round hole. You want to make sure what you're doing is actually valuable to the company, and that you can justify it, because you don't want to just spend money just to spend money, right? You want to say, okay, this is the value that it's going to bring. The people who don't know how to do automation yet, I won't even focus on them doing too much with AI. Maybe like if they're learning, then you want to kind of limit how much AI that they're using, so that they can actually know how to do the actual work, and then have AI be your assistant instead of your crutch, right? For so many people, AI becomes their crutch, and it's like everything that they do is a prompt. When I'm using AI at work, I am using it for like, all right, I need a function to do something very, very specific that I know I can figure out if I spent a few hours to do it, but it's not worth spending a few hours to do it, right? What I want to do is I want to add this particular function into my workflow, and then I see it working, but I am still the person who is creating it. I'm still the person authoring it, right? I think another thing that can be useful is if you guys are using like one of these like Copilots, Cursor, Windsurf, things of that nature, then you can have it with like code assistant, code completion. You don't want it to do everything for you, right? I would say for newer QA people, I would limit how much of the agentic mode where it just have it go and do everything for you. You are like, you're very, very targeted. Look at opportunities that let's say you do this, right? Let's say you have AI read your code base and you say, all right, what are some opportunities that we have for writing UI automation tests, API integration tests, unit tests, things of that nature. So you're not fully focused on having it do everything for you. We need balance. Because what we've been seeing is there are people who are coming into interviews and they are 100% relying on AI. And if that was the case, right? If you're going to be 100% relying on AI, then we could just get Devin for a fraction of the cost, and because you're just going to be using a tool like Devin anyways. And plus a lot of companies, they have very, very strict AI usage policies. So you can't just get somebody who's fully reliant on AI. If I was to say what you should be focusing on, similar to what I was saying to KG609, right? That it's not a either or, it's an and. Focus on getting better automation coverage, but you also want to work out your AI muscle so that you can so that you're keeping up with the newest and latest technologies. That's one. But you still have robust automation. So something that I do is I will work on at work, make sure the automation is good, it's passing, it's clean. But then I will also use AI for like really quick hits. But then on my own time, because I am a firm believer in what Robert T. Martin said, you should be spending at least 20 hours of your own time practicing your software development skills, QA skills, all that stuff. Because work is the game. Work is not practice. So you continue to refine, continue to get better. So all the stuff that I'm doing on Lovable, all the stuff that I do in Devin, all the stuff that I do with N8N, I use that. I distribute it everywhere. So even if it doesn't become applicable at work, I'm still able to use it and make the most out of it. So that is my message to you. It's not an either or, it's an and. Get your automation down, get better with automation, add more automation tests, but enhance your skills and see what AI tools are a good way to plug into, and like tools like Lovable. Just off the top of my head, I just said, you know what? I could probably create something where I can say, okay, let me pass this story into the story that we're working on into this application. And then it's going to give me, all right, here are all your testing scenarios, and these are what you should automate. These are what you should test manually, and figure that out for you. That could be like there's so many things that you can do. Take a look at your workflow, take a look at what are your pain points, and say, build this for me. That's how I come up with most of my application ideas, things that you see me working on Lovable. I take out what were my pain points, and this is what I do. Now let's build an app around it, right? So that is my thoughts around the whole ordeal. All right, let me check the chat one last time before we get to work. Let me see. Rod Brown says, but I do have a segment tomorrow about my best friends of the turban cloth. I will surely be tuning in. Rod Brown says, it's only fair for them to come defend them. It is. I want to see it. I'll be there to see it. KG609 says, sounds good. Sounds like a common issue. Been trying to bring my team up to speed on QA automation and unit testing. That's awesome. It's an everlasting battle. It is an everlasting battle. So, but I see that with the speed that you can develop at now with this with these platforms, QA is so important, especially QA automation, because I've asked Lovable to do something, and I've made a full music over how Lovable just destroys what we were working on, and then I have to go revert. My QA engineer is like, for the projects that we're working on, they're building automation tests in Playwright that we're going to have as part of our CDI/CD pipeline. So every time we want to merge, we open up a PR or something like that, it's going to run the test, make sure that we didn't break anything through, or make sure that Lovable didn't break anything, right? So anyways, let's go back over here. All right, so we are going to jump into our DevOps portion for migrating the Lovable app to AWS infrastructure. Let me go ahead, and we got an error. So what I did was I started up, let me throw up 20 minutes.
Let's go! Let's go!
So I started up the what do you call it? Terraform. And I got some errors. Let me similar to what we got last time, I'm gonna paste it in Gemini again to see how to fix this error. And let me pull up Gemini. So like, this is what I do, right? I get an error in once, like I'll get an error, and I'll go to Gemini to help me fix it. That's another way of using AI in your day-to-day workflow. Let me see. I think we're over here. All right, so we're gonna go to Gemini real quick, and I'm gonna say, and here's the deal with this, right? You can use this, stuff at work, as long as you're not putting in personal company information. Like if your company doesn't have access, like if they don't have a policy on how to use like Gemini or ChatGPT and stuff like that, you can use it, but don't put any company information in there. Just be very general. Like, so I'm gonna say, like, this isn't company work anyways, but I would say I'm getting this error when applying my Terraform plan. So I'm just gonna paste the error. It's gonna tell me how to fix it. It's kind of similar to what I got last time when we tried to start it up, but it's possible that the CloudWatch log group already exists. This is the same type of error as before. Yep, and it's a good sign. This means Terraform is trying to create resources that already exist in your AWS account, likely from a previous partially successful run. To fix this, tell Terraform to adopt or import these existing resources into the state file. Here are 2 commands you need to run to fix this. Import the ECS app log group. This command will bring existing ECS under the Terraform management. So I'm going to go and copy this, and then fix the import of the VPC flow log group. So I'm going to go over here. Junior, you have a great night. Thank you so much. Enjoy your Bible study. All right, let's go put this in here. We got that one, and we're going to do the other one for the VPC flow log group. So I'm going to document that somewhere to make sure that we always run this when we have to. Shoot, I should have did a US East one, but whatever. And now we're good. So now if we do a TF plan again, and we do a TF apply again, It should just do the remaining ones. And that should be pretty quick because everything really already exists. Sweet. We are good to go. All right. So now we're gonna be looking at the instructions that we got from Manus. So, and this is another way. See, KG609. So many different tools, right? Manus is another tool that I use. It's a paid tool, but it's another tool that I use that it does so much work for you, right? Like you can have it connect to different applications. I had to create a logo for me one time. I used it to tell it to generate documentation on how I would migrate an app built on Lovable into an AWS environment, right? And what we did on Sunday was we finished up our Terraform files to which we just used, right, to get our infrastructure set up on AWS. So now we're going to be getting into let me see where my files. It gives me all the files. We're going to be getting into let's see. We want this one. So we got our Terraform done. We got our deployment done. So infrastructure is done. Next up, we want step-by-step deployment and testing guide. So let's take a look at that. Phase 1, infrastructure deployment and validation. We did that. We didn't do it through this though, but that's fine. So here, so that's the database deployment. We got all that. I should try running this app. Maybe we'll try this on Sunday. RDS stuff. So this is like checking it, generating summary. Yeah, I'll definitely try to run this script on Sunday. That's pretty cool. But let's go over to infrastructure validation and testing. So let's try this. Infrastructure validation and testing. After the infrastructure deployment completes, comprehensive validation testing ensures that all components are functioning correctly and are ready to support the application workload. This validation process includes a connectivity testing, security validation, and performance baseline establishments, and integration testing between different infrastructure components. Network connectivity validation ensures that all network paths required for the application operation are functioning correctly. This includes testing connectivity between application tiers, database access from application subnets, internet connectivity for external API access. So we're gonna need to go into Python at this point. So let me go and open up PyCharm. You guys know my preferred. I am a IntelliJ or JetBrains addict. I'm gonna say a new project, and we're gonna say should have did it in this same project. I'm gonna put it in the. Hold on. I'm gonna go to. I'm setting up the project over here. Let's go to WebStorm. So let's go over here. And I'm going to create that. So basically what I did was I used the same folder that, well, I don't see my Terraform stuff in here. Should be in the same folder. Ah, okay, I see. That's fine. It put it in a subfolder in here. Whatever. Let's go ahead and do a new file or a new Python file, and we're going to call this we're going to call this infrastructure validation. And we're going to say, copy that. Oops. And we're going to say install package. Install package for this one. And install the request package as well. I don't think I need this there. All right, so we got that. Where is this being set? All right, there goes our region being set. Environment should be dev. All right, so let me look back over here to see what we need to do. If self, all right, so if the environment, all right, let's look at that. Now how do I run it? So it says this comprehensive deployment and testing guide. All right, let's go to, let's try to run it. Let's go back over here. Where do I specify the environment? Let me try to run it, see what happens. All right, so we're going to go and we're just going to do run. And it says import error. No LCR paths found. What's that mean? So that is not the project name. What is our, so let me see what our project name is. Our project name is go to our variables. TF. This one. Oh, I guess it is lovable app. Never mind. All right, so we have that. Let me see. Library not loaded. Let's go. Let me try this. Let's go to ls. All right, so let me see. So here's what I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna take this whole code right here and I'm gonna go to Gemini. So I'm using Gemini and Manus at the same time, right? I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna say I'm trying to execute the Python file, Python code below, and I'm getting this error. And now I'm going to copy the error that I'm getting. And Gemini will tell me why I'm getting that error. See, but this is what I mean by, for me, it's not either or, it's add. So using Manus, using Gemini, using lovable. All right, here's a common error on Mac OS when using this library. It means that Python library, which is a wrapper, cannot find the underlying Postgres SQL-C library. That depends to communicate with the database. The easiest and most reliable way is to use this one, which bundles the required C libraries for you. Solution 1, use this one. Gotcha. So let's just do it this way. We're going to do a pip uninstall. See, look at that. Fixes our issue in a matter of seconds. All right, so we got that off, and then I'm going to get the new one that we need. And my question is, do we need to put that in the import path? I'm going to ask Gemini, do I need to import in the Python code instead of so let's see what it says, because do I need to import that package with binary? So it says, no, you don't need to change your Python code. It remains import this. It's only the installation package that pip uses. A distribution that includes the necessary compiled files. Once installed, it registers itself in your Python environment with this name. All right, perfect. So we're good. Let's go ahead and try to run it again. Let's see this one. All right, so now we have other issues, which is perfectly fine. We're gonna do region. All right, cool. So we're gonna do report file. The following arguments are required. So we're gonna do I'm gonna do it through the terminal. We're gonna say -- environment is dev, and we are off to the races. VPC configuration limited, NAT gateway for HA1 VPC configuration. Oh my God, it's going through. It's going through. Let's see. So all infrastructure validation passed. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Like, this is so cool. This is so cool. We have a script to validate our infrastructure. So warn, database configuration, database connectivity failed, connection to the server here timed out, probably because of permission issue, I'm guessing. Probably doesn't want us to be able to connect from our local machine to the database just like that. But database configuration validated successfully. ECS successful. Boom! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Permissive rule, overly permissive rule for port 22. Fair enough. This is cool. This is cool. Nothing failed. 4 pass, 4 warnings. Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
All right, so we're done with that. Let's go back to Manus. Next up in Manus, we have to do, okay, what file was this we're looking at? All right, so infrastructure and authentication. So start off with the master migration. Let's see. What is next? Application containerization. So I think we want to go into that, which that's going to be a bit tricky, right? Let's see, lovable to AWS migration. Let me take a look at this one. So we got this done. AWS infrastructure and architecture and setup guide. That is done. Check. Next up, we have lovable application containerization. So this is where we're going to be like turning into a Docker file, for lack of a better term. This guide covers the process of containerizing your lovable application for deployment. All right, so this part is going to be fairly simple. This next part, number 3, that is going to be the tough part, because getting all the extra stuff working there, that's going to be a pain, right? But we can definitely start with that. So let me go and take a look at the containerization guide. If I can find it. Where are you? AWS infrastructure. Where is it? I know we have it because I looked at it the other day. Oh, there it goes. Lovable application containerization. So basically, we're going to import our app into. We're going to import our app into GitHub. Put it into what is that? Into WebStorm, and then we're going to start to Dockerize our application. That's basically
Lunch break.
the next workflow.
Lunch break.
All right. Let's go to break. Let's go to break. Let me see how much time we're at this show. We got one more segment. Anyway, so a lot of work being done, but really, really good stuff. I heard somebody say that hard work is good work. Cool. Let me check the chat real quick, and then nothing in the chat, so we're good. Let me see something real quick. Let me do this real quick. Let's do. Let me do that. All right, we're gonna do one more topic that I saw on Reddit that had me interested, and then we're gonna come back for one last segment, working on this, starting to containerize our application, which is gonna take a look at this. Everything that we've been working on our DevOps, we are putting to use. Terraform, Docker file, Docker image, Docker containers, all coming together. This is awesome. Let's jump into this topic really quick. Manual QA jobs, are they still out there? Let's do it.
Another one.
So this one had said, manual QA roles are still out there despite all the AI hype. Reading the title, I don't believe it, because manual QA roles were not out there even before all of the AI hype. So automation, like QA engineering, is the new role. When I first started this channel, I looked left and right, up and down, turned over couches, turned over beds, looking for manual QA roles. Every single live stream that we did, we went on LinkedIn, we looked for manual QA roles, and we could not find any. So don't blame AI for the lack of manual QA roles, because AI is not the reason that there are no manual QA roles. Manual QA roles are just as outdated as the horse and buggy. They're almost as outdated as taxis, right? But let's read. I don't really get all the panic around AI taking QA jobs. I don't think there's any panic around AI taking QA jobs. Of course, if you completely ignore new tools, you'll eventually fall behind. But honestly, that's how it's always been in tech. I was just on the market and still landing interviews for manual QA positions. Where they do that at? Real roles, not ghost listings. Yeah, the entry level stuff is shrinking, but companies still need humans who can think like users, catch weird edge cases, and check things like UX and accessibility that scripts AI just don't fully cover. So no, QA isn't dead. I don't think anybody ever said QA was dead. It's evolving, agree. But manual positions are definitely still a thing. No, they're not. They're not a thing. They're not a thing. I've been interviewing for them myself, but in the end, I accepted an automation. See. They're so full of it. They are so full of it, right? I was interviewing for manual QA jobs, but I accepted an automation. They just pay more, obviously. Do you think that manual QA will stick around, or is the end getting close? Manual QA is not around anymore. I'm not even gonna throw up 5 minutes on this, right? Manual QA is not around anymore. What is the expectation now? The expectation now is that you have a percentage of automation work that you do, which is going to be a higher percentage, and then you have manual work. So the manual testing that you do only leads to your automation work, because we need to get more automation tests to do a more comprehensive regression test. I remember Robert T. Martin again. He was giving a lecture, a speech, and he said he had a not he, but there was a let's say a CTO, right? And they had a huge book of test scenarios, and the board or the CEO says, look, we're cutting 50% of your budget. And they said, all right, which test should I run? I can only afford to run half these tests. Which one should I run? And the answer was, well, it depends on which half of the application you want to make sure works. But that is why automation is so important. Weird edge cases, great. They're edge cases for a reason. Do they affect things? Yes. But that's why they're edge cases. We're not going to be spending countless hours doing testing things manually. Manual testing is mainly spot checking certain things, right? But you really and there's even tools, that automated tools that are checking the UI and the UX and stuff like that. So it's not about AI, it's about automation. I remember somebody who got hired for a manual testing role, right? About 2 years ago. And I told them, look, I know you're excited you got hired for this manual testing role. I guarantee you within a year, they're going to be telling you that you need to learn automation. 9 months in, they're doing great at the company. That was their first QA role ever. They're doing great at the company, never did a lick of code before. And the company's like, look, we need you to learn Playwright. We need you to learn how to do automation testing, because that is where we're headed to. Every company's headed towards automation. So you can try to fight, manual testing. If you think you're going to accept the manual testing job and they're not going to require you to at least learn automation, you are sadly mistaken. You will be left behind, just like everything else, right? So that is my thoughts about it. You need to level up today, all right? And let's wrap that question up. All right. We are going to get into one last segment, and then we will wrap it up for tonight. Let me get this off the screen and put this back up. All right, so let's just jump into one more segment.
It's time to do.
Let me see. Magnus says, we had a Udemy Teams call. That is awesome. All right, let's go and take a look at containerization, right? So what is containerization? It is the act of getting your application into a Docker image. So it becomes like a shippable. You can deploy it anywhere. We want to get into a Docker container so that we can deploy it to our ECS instance, right? So this is going to be helping us on how to do it, okay? All right, let's jump into it. We got 20 minutes left. Where's my mouse? All right, so Containerizing lovable applications for deployment on AWS ECS requires a thorough understanding of both the lovable platform application structure and Docker containerization best practices. Lovable applications are typically React-based single-page applications that leverage modern JavaScript frameworks and build tools, making them well suited for containerization using multi-stage Docker builds that separate the build environment from the runtime environment. All right, so I'm not going to read this whole thing. We're going to jump into it. Docker file creation and optimization, multi-stage build strategy. So this is the Docker file. We're just going to copy it right into it. Docker file for lovable React application, multi-stage build for optimal size, image size, and security. I'm going to copy this code. We're going to go over into, we're going to be using, do I want to do this one? No, not here. Hold on. Let's do this. We are going to go to here. We're going to connect it to a GitHub project. Actually, it's already there. All right, cool. So we already have it in there. So let's go ahead and pull in. Let me go over to GitHub. I already did that. All right, so we're gonna go over here. We're gonna do another project, new project, and we're gonna say, let's see, from version control, and we're gonna say GitHub, and then we're gonna say insight pulse. Let's clone that. Let's do a new window. Trust project. I don't know why this is so big. All right, there we go. We have our project, and we can do an npm install. And if we wanted to, we could actually start this up locally. If we do edit configuration, we add a npm. Hold on, let me take it from, actually, no, I can do that. So let's do edit configuration, add new, npm is going to take it from the, I think we do run script dev. Is it build dev? Is it dev? Is this one? Let's say okay, and we run it. And now we have our application running locally. So, and by doing it this way, that's how I've been able to make very, very targeted changes on my local machine. And then once I see it's looking good, then I'm able to push it up. And from your local machine, it's also using the lovable, or not lovable, it's using it's connected to Supabase and everything like that. So we're able to do local development, see it working, push it up to GitHub, and lovable automatically picks up those changes as well, right? But that is not what we're doing right now. So let me go ahead and close that. We are going to go to create a folder for, we're going to call that Docker. And inside the Docker folder, I'm going to say new Docker file. And I'm going to say, we can add it, no biggie. And I'm going to copy the code from Manus. And I'm going to paste it here. So this is all the code that we got from Manus. Let's go back over here. And let's see what else that we wanted to do. Let me see. Okay, so Nginx configuration. So let me see. We have Multi-stage build for image size and security. That's our Docker file. All right, we got that. Stage 2, so production runtime with Nginx. Nginx configuration for single page applications. Where is this supposed to go? So single page apps require specific Nginx configuration to handle client-side routing, asset caching, and security headers. The Nginx configuration must be optimized for serving static assets efficiently while providing proper fallback handling for React router or other client-side routing solutions. Okay. Where is that supposed to go though? Enhanced lovable applications often require environment-specific configuration for API endpoints, authentication settings, and feature flags. Managing these environment variables in containerized deployments require careful consideration of security, flexibility, and maintainability. The containerization process must provide mechanisms for injecting environment variables at runtime while maintaining security best practices. React applications with Vite use environment variables that are prefixed with Vite underscore to make them available in the browser. These, all right. So do you want to use that one? So we have all of this. I'm just wondering, like, where is all this supposed to go? This comprehensive containerization guide provides the foundation for successfully containerizing lovable applications for deployment on AWS ECS. The multi-stage build approach, security hardening, and secret management integration ensures that the resulting containers are production ready and maintainable, and the optimization techniques described here help minimize image size, improve build times, and enhance runtime performance, making the containerized application suitable for enterprise scaled deployments. Cool. Okay, so this doesn't really say what goes where. So what I'm gonna do is here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say copy, and I'm gonna go to Gemini, and I'm gonna say I have this detailed documentation on how to containerize a lovable built application, but I'm not sure how to implement it. Can you give me step-by-step directions based on how to containerize on the documentation below? All right, so let's see what happens. But this is what I call AI pairing, getting the detailed information from Manus on the how-to, asking Gemini, make it easy for me to understand, and give me a step-by-step guide on how to do it. So we build in Lovable. We have Manus create our infrastructure. We have it set up in AWS through Terraform. And then using Gemini to help us set it up, right? All right, so create the Nginx configuration file. This file tells the Nginx web server inside your container how to serve your React application. KG609 asked a question relevant to this. Is this assuming it's a single page application since it was built using Lovable? I think it's assuming that being that it's built using Lovable and Lovable uses React to build it. And from what I've seen, let me see. just do a quick check. Let me see. Not all React applications are single page apps, although React is commonly used for building them. While React is often associated with single page apps due to its ability to dynamically update content without fully loading the page. Let's see. Are all lovable apps single page apps? Not all apps generated by Lovable are single page apps. Lovable is an AI powered platform that creates full stack applications. So I think it's assuming that, being that it's React and Lovable, but not all of them are going to be single page apps from what they're saying. This file tells the Nginx server inside your container how to serve your React application, handle routing, and set security headers. In your root directory of your Lovable application, the same folder that contains package.json, create a new file called Nginx config. I am going to let's do this. In order not to mess up our application, I'm going to do a get status, get restore. I'm going to unstage, staged, docker file, get status, and we are going to do get checkout -b, create a new branch, and we're going to say containerize application. That's going to be the branch we're going to be using. Now we can do get status, and we can say get add docker. All right, so now I can go. So now I feel more comfortable just going into the root directory, making changes, because I don't want it on my main branch, right? Now the application is not going to be affected. What we've been working on is not going to be affected, right? So we're going to go to new file. We're going to call that, let's see, nginx-conf. We can add that, and we're going to copy this right here. Plugins supporting nginx-conf. Oh, let's install those plugins. Nginx configuration pro. Start the 7. No, I'm not gonna start a 7-day trial. Get this one. Syntax highlighting support for custom director. Let's go with that. Paste. I guess we could do a find and replace with okay. All right, cool. So we have our Nginx configuration file. Let's see what else we got. So that was the first thing that we were supposed to do. Created the Nginx file, Nginx configuration, optimized for React single page application. The provided documentation has a very detailed Nginx configuration. The snippet above is a simplified version. Oh, all right. So they're saying that we should use a full one. So let's go ahead and find that full one. It would be this one. So we're going to use this one. Let's copy that. Go over here. Just paste that in there. All right, so we have that. Move this over here. So next up, create the Docker file. Create a Docker file. This file instructions for Docker in the root directory. I put it in a Docker folder. Copy and paste the security hardened Docker file content into this file. So we need to get the security hardened Docker file. Environment 1. All right, so this is the one, security hardened Docker file. Oh, well, I'm over here on Manus, copying the security hardened Docker file, right? And I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to replace that with that. And so we did that. Next up, Gemini tells us to create a Docker ignore file where we are going to do new file .docker ignore. If you guys remember, Docker ignore is when things are being copied into the Docker file. It's what to ignore and what not, what not to include. We got that. The next step is to build our Docker image. So we are going to have to go so this is going to be the command to build a Docker image, but we are going to have to go one layer above. So let's give it a try with the short amount of time that we have left. Let's do, oops, not that. Docker build -t lovable app :latest. And oh shoot, that's why I didn't want it in the same folder. Hold on. So cd docker, and we're gonna do docker build -t. T is for tag, lovable app latest, and it would be, maybe I should just move it. Let me just move it because I am not too sure yet. I know it can be in a Docker file, but I'd have to find out how to, or ask Gemini. What would be the Docker build command if I have the Docker file in a subfolder named Docker? See if we can get that. If we can get that, then, because it's just for organization purposes.
Lunch break.
Okay.
Lunch break.
So let me undo this over here. Then we're going to get out of here. So undo move. So if we say cd ... and we say docker build -f docker file. What about the T for taggable? Docker build is a standard. The -f tells Docker to look for the file inside the Docker folder inside the current directory. What about the T for tag? All right, so I'm going to do Docker, and then we're going to do -t lovable app latest dot. Docker's not running. Great. Let me get it running. Then we're gonna get out of here. Let's see. All right, Docker's running. Let's do that. Sweet. It's building. It is building. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Something failed. All right, something failed. We will leave it at that. We will pick this up on Sunday, where we can start off from building the Docker image, and then we can go from there, maybe deploying it. I don't know what's next, but that's where we'll be at. All right, so let's go to full screen. That was a lot. That was intense. What a roller coaster, but we did it. We did it. Shout out to all of you guys who made it this far with me. This is my life. This is my life. Work all day, work all night, running it up. But that is it for today. That is it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Truly, truly appreciate you. Quick announcements before we head out of here. We have tomorrow morning, we're going to be working on our N8N workflow, building out our trying to get N8N to use Gemini to build out, or to use OpenAI to build out documentation based on the code in a repository. We're going to be having at noon, we're going to be having previewing Amazon Kiro, their AI coding platform. And we're going to be going live on Thursday night to continue working on our securities, our website application scanner application. All right. Do me a favor, if you have not done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. Check out TechCoachRalph.dev. I'm going to be releasing the Scrum Night from this past Sunday tomorrow, and then probably Thursday I'm going to be scheduling our next Vibe Code and Chill session. It's going to be Saturday. I'm not sure exactly what time on Saturday, but that's the plan. Vibe Code and Chill. Join us. You can join for free as long as you sign up for the TechCoachRalph Patreon free tier. You can join the call. All of that good stuff, and you can see all the crazy stuff that we're going to be doing. We're going to go even more in depth. All right. ResumeFlow.app. If you have not signed up yet, go and get your resume analyzed, upload your resume, get your score, and see how the ATS sees your resume. And then you can do a job search so that you can see how well your resume matches up to the job, and go and track your application process throughout the whole thing, even get interview questions once you get to the interview stage. All right. So much great stuff that's going on. Shout out to Resume Flow for sponsoring the show today. Truly, truly appreciate Resume Flow. Truly appreciate everybody that tuned in. Magnetar, KG609, Peter Investor, Rod Brown, My Guy Jr., every last one of you guys. Truly, truly appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. TechCoachRalph, we are out.
Spartans! What is your profession?
People watch as the clock ticks by, but I'm the storm in the endless sky. I'll climb the mountain, no matter the slope. Fueled by hunger, fueled by hope.
They sit and watch as the clock just spins, but I'm out here chasing where it begins. I don't need luck, I don't need a sign, just a fire in my soul and a dream that's mine.
All I wanna do is win it all. Climb every mountain, never let me fall. Bet it all on me, I'm the one who rise. I'll break the limits and touch the sky.
I'm betting it all, no second glance. Got fire in my soul, I'll take the chance. No time for sitting, no time to stall. The
but I've got no time for those debates. The fire in my chest, it burns so bright. I'll take the dark and turn it to light. All I wanna do is win it all. Climb every mountain, never let me fall. Bet it all on me, I'm the one who rise. I'll break the limits and touch the sky. No retreat, no looking back. I'll carve my name on this beaten track. They'll say I dream too wild, too bold, but I'll write my story in lines of gold.
All I wanna do is win it all. Climb every mountain, never let me fall. Bet it all on me, I'm the one who rise. I'll break the limits and touch the skies. And touch the skies. No fear in losing, no time to doubt. Every whisper, I'll drown it out. I'll rise higher with every stride. The flame of passion, my own